The empty chair technique, TEP, Therapy with Energy and Process, by the Swiss psychologist Vivienne Rauber. Lesson 5. Act out your dream. First you see a demonstration and then you're asked to do it yourself with an own dream. The self process number 2. Act out your own dream. We can also work with a dream with the technique of the empty chair, which is to change into the energy of the different dream figures.
Hi Vivienne.
Hi.
How are you today?
Well, I would like to work with you on my dream I had last night.
Okay. You want to tell us about it, please?
Yes. I was in a town, a big town. I thought it was London, but it doesn't make sense. And I was in a course. There were 5 people, 2 Spanish people, men, and 2, I think they were Asian. And there was lunchtime. And so we had 2 hours for ourselves, free. And so we went out, and I hoped to pass the time with those 2 Spanish people. And I had tried to talk Spanish with them, and they just answered in German and said, well, we came here to learn German. I don't know why that was in London though. So they kind of left. They sat on a bicycle, and I had no bicycle, so there was no possibility for me to follow them. So I was there in this big town, and there was a cathedral, a beautiful Gothic cathedral, and I thought, well, I'll go in. But there was such a long queue of people waiting. I thought, no. And then I continued and didn't know what to do. And yeah, I felt completely lost. I didn't know where I was. And I thought I have to buy a map of the town, but I didn't know where to buy a map. And so there was this big question mark. That's a dream.
That's a dream. So there are lots of wonderful elements that we can work with.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to interpret some of the characters?
Mm-hmm.
Who would you like to start with?
Well, maybe we make a list before we... So there were these...
I have 2 Spanish men.
2 Spanish men.
2 Asian men.
2 Asian women.
Women, okay. I have understood men.
There
Then
was the bicycle.
yes.
There was the cathedral. And there was this... I don't know where I am.
I think the map would also be a key element.
Okay, the map.
Agree?
Mhm.
Good. 2 Spanish men, 2 Asian women, a bicycle, a map, London town, and a cathedral. And where am I?
This where I am.
So this where am I, would you call it the feeling of not knowing where you are? Or what do you want to call it?
Yeah.
What would you like to start with?
Well, in the order of the 2 men.
Good.
Okay. Well, I am the 2 Spanish men. And this Vivienne always wants to talk in Spanish with us. What a annoyance. We are here to learn German. not to speak Spanish. So we better try to get out of her way.
Okay, so get out of the energy of these two Spanish men.
Mm-hmm.
And then we continue, please, with the two Asian women.
Well, I'm these two Asian women. Vivienne is not paying any attention to us. We're not important for her. She doesn't look at us. She walks behind those Spanish people, and we're just a nobody for her. We don't like that.
Okay, so now you get out of this energy, and you please turn into the bicycle.
Okay, I'm a bicycle. I'm a bicycle. People can sit on me, and I am much faster than if they had to walk. And I just offered my service to the two Spanish men who really wanted to get away as fast as possible from this Vivienne. There is no bicycle for Vivienne anymore. And actually, it would be much too dangerous for her. It's better she doesn't have a bicycle, because to be on a bicycle in London is just really too dangerous for her.
Thank you. You come out of the energy of the bicycle. And now I invite you to become a map. The map of, I imagine, London in this case, huh?
Yeah, it looks like London. I'm a map, and people can open the map and can read me. And I show them the way to wherever they want to go. They just have to read me. Because if they want to go from here to here, they see exactly which way they can go. So I'm a map, and you just have to open up and be capable of reading me. But I can show you the way.
Okay. You come out of this energy of the map, and now I invite you to become the cathedral.
I'm the cathedral. Whoever is here can find silence, can find connection, and I would love Vivienne to be here, but unfortunately she doesn't want to wait. There are lots of people, and she doesn't like to stand in queues and wait, so as to be able to come and experience my peace and quiet and connectedness.
Very good. Thank you.
Well, I'm London.
Okay.
I'm London. I'm a big town. And Vivienne was here 50 years ago. She knew me well. She forgot all about me. It's okay. So she can ask or have a map. Or
So we have two more. The feeling of not knowing where you are. And I would also like for you to become these 2 hours span of time that you had for lunch. So you choose
lunch.
which one you want to go first.
lunch break.
Yes, so 2 hours lunch break.
Okay. I am the 2 hours lunch break. I give freedom to everyone. Everyone is free to do whatever they want. Everyone can go his own way, or they can join in group to do something. I give complete freedom to everyone.
Very good. So now would come, thank you, the feeling of not knowing where you are.
Where am I?
Where are you?
Where am I? I'm a big question mark. A big question mark. I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm alone. I'm sad. I don't know where to go. I don't know where I should go. What's I'm good for. Difficult to get out of this energy.
What about if you make like this, or stomp your feet on the ground? Stomp your feet on the ground.
That hurts.
Get the roots back. Root yourself. You can imagine roots coming out of your feet down into the middle of Mother Earth. Breathe in, breathe out. You're back. Please sit down. So actually, I have two questions. Which one was the easiest character to interpret, and which one was the most difficult character to interpret?
I guess the one that I didn't mention, the map, that was, I forgot it. So it means it's important. It's, yeah. It's the one probably that I like best. And it was not difficult to interpret. And which was the most difficult? The one that strikes me right now is the two Asian girls.
Why?
Because I, Vivienne, am not interested in those Asian girls. So it's me who doesn't accept other people. Whereas I felt the two Spanish people didn't accept me. So actually, I'm the one that doesn't accept. And I feel victim of not being accepted. And the one I could really feel I'm good at acting it out is the poor victim that doesn't know where to go.
The big question mark.
Yeah, the big question mark. It was like, easy is not the right word because none of them was difficult to interpret, but probably the one that I have been identifying most, and that's why I dreamt this dream.
In the psychology that you teach, you put a lot of emphasis into not interpreting. But at the same time, okay, without interpretation, what conclusion can you bring out of this dream after what you have lived?
Well, the the idea of the Gestalt Therapy and that everything we dream is a part of us.
Yes, of course.
So I have all these possibilities. So it feels great. I can realize that I'm also not accepting other people and don't want to be with them. So I could pay more attention when I do that. And I can be the map. I'm also the map. I only need to open it, the map set,
And then you become guidance.
and read it. I can read a map. The problem is that I'm not sure whether I know where I want to go. Yes, I wanted to go to the cathedral, but I was not willing to wait long enough to feel that peace and connection that I can get in the cathedral.
So again, if I say something like, it sounds like a message about having patience, is that interpreting?
It's interpreting, and the Gestalt usually just leaves it on that.
Just leave it there. Okay.
For me, it would be okay. I
You
did
feel
already
complete now?
Yeah, I did already lots of interpretation myself.
You feel
I
full
feel-
and complete?
Yeah.
I have questions about the technique itself.
Mhm.
So first of all, what's the purpose of the technique? For the client to become aware of the dream as they are speaking, more elements come up that maybe they didn't think about before the interview started?
Well, the idea is to get into the energy, into the shoes of the different figures that we have dreamt, because according to Jung and according to the Gestalt Therapy, everything we dream is a part of ourselves. And in that moment that we interpret this figure, we kind of get into the energy and we accept it, and we accept it as part of ourselves. So it's like becoming whole, of accepting all these different parts. We are the positive and the negative parts.
But the question for me is, if you are accepting, I believe it does not always necessarily mean that you become aware of it. So when you are talking about, I am a map and it's wonderful for people to read me, one thing is, yes, I accept I'm a map, and the other part is, oh, it's wonderful that people can come to me and read me. So I am somebody, I am of use, for example, to people. So I think they're two different categories.
But the moment I interpret what in that moment is my part.
What the character is saying.
Yeah.
So the characters, let me see, when the character speaks, you become aware of what that character, well, that's it. When the character speaks, you become aware of the meaning of the character within the dream.
Well, you are talking very left-brainish. All of that goes with the right brain side. So
Yes.
the right brain is the one that is responsible for our feelings, for our symptoms, that understands pictures, art, and also this acting. So it's kind of, I don't like the word aware, because the word aware for me is very much has to do with understanding and left brain. So but at the same moment when we interpret something, when we place something, when we are in the energy of that figure, we kind of are this figure. So we realize, not on a left brain side, but on the right brain side, that we have all these parts, and we become whole. It's not a shadow, maybe Jung would speak like that, of us that exists in the unconscious, but it becomes, well, now I'm talking left brainish again. We can hardly really talk about the right brain, and that's why in this kind of dream interpretation, like the Gestalt does, you just say which are the different figures of the dream, and then you interpret them, and full stop.
Okay, so the thing is that what I'm trying to do is to convey to the public around the world that somehow there is a need for the human being to indeed work with the left side of the brain, to be very logical and rational and get explanations, because that way sometimes it's easier to accept what's happening. But during the process itself, if we want to be successful with it, we need to stay on the right side brain, be very intuitive and letting go, and of course no interpretation. May I offer the word conscious instead of aware? Would that be more a right side hemisphere word for you?
I think your whole talk and all the questions are left brainish, and it's okay to be
How
left
can you
brainish.
how can you make questions from the right side?
That's exactly.
You can't.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That's my point to the public. That this is perfect. You know, it's like right now you are being the right side of a human, and I'm being the left side of the brain, and together we're creating something really beautiful.
Now think of an own dream of yours and act it out. If possible, turn on a tape recorder so that you can listen to what you said. It could, of course, also be your smartphone. And then do the following. 1. Write down your dream. 2. Make a list of all the dream figures there are in this dream. 3. Then act out each of these different dream figures. 4. And when you have finished, ask yourself, which figure was the most difficult to act out? Because that's the one we usually don't really know about. Continue now or another day with the lesson 6 of the empty chair technique that you find through my webpage www.viviennerauber.com, English, YouTube, empty chair, and there you click on lesson 6, the underlined part.